Well, this is a ride that was started on the Saturday just prior to the lockdown, back on the 14th of August. The last time we saw this ride, which I'll link to in the top right of the screen now, we were travelling along the motorway in some pretty reasonable weather. Well, you can see that's changed. It's changed quite a lot. We're about 45 minutes away from Auckland Harley-Davidson now, heading south. We're heading towards the Auckland Waikato border, which of course is a no-go zone these days. But at that time we were fully authorised to ride wherever we chose, and where we chose was these backcountry roads heading up towards Mangatawhiri, and we certainly did find winter on this ride. But despite the rain, the green-topped road, the mud all over the place, I'd be pretty happy to be out there riding again in this, and looking forward to the time that we can do that again. Okay, back to the video, and what this ride is showing is us leaving the Auckland region, and I guess that's why it's interesting to me now, because we can't do it. Us leaving the Auckland region, crossing into the Waikato, and we're on, I think it's Paparimo Road, heading up here. The rain was coming down pretty solid as we're heading along here. You can see there's moss all over the roads, which makes it a little bit treacherous. You have to be careful. But the road captain has just signalled, there's an intersection here, and this is joining to Paparimo Road. Paparimo is the one that really heads across and gets to the border as such. It's really an imaginary line rather than a border post of any kind. But very shortly up ahead we will be crossing into the Waikato area. I haven't been around this place for, a month and a half, but I presume that this is now blocked off with actual border points and checkpoints to make sure that anybody travelling beyond does have a good reason to do so. Although the picture's been a little bit blurry because there's a lot of rain getting on the lens, we are starting to come through that now, and as we're heading up towards a road called Lions Road, where we're going to turn right, I think around about that point we actually are done with the rain. You can see it here in the distance. We're heading towards it, but we are not going to really have too many more instances of the rain coming up. Now, the road captain has signalled for me to pull over and stop, indicating the turn to the right, and the rest of the crew was coasting on past me here. This is just, we've seen it many times, it's standard corner marking procedure. On this ride there was about just over, I think, a dozen bikes, a lot of sport glides, road glides, etc. I think on this day mine was the only fat bob amongst the crew. I'm riding a Dyna Fat Bob 2014, and I'm really quite attached to it. It rides well, and it sounds like a Harley should. Gets around, takes me wherever I want it to go, and with the sundowner seat works very well as a two-up machine as well, where I often ride it with my wife on the back. Anyway, here we are turning right onto Lions Road, heading up to the old Mangatawhiri area that was a pretty popular, very busy holiday highway stretch. I remember many times being stuck in traffic jams on the road that we're about to turn onto. And it became a little used side road after the construction of a bypass, much better road, just over that tree line over there, State Highway 2. So what's happening here? Oh, we're coming up to a regroup situation with the bikes, and up here I normally pull in behind, but I got way forward by one of the more senior riders in the club, and she is working with a new rider in the group, so I just pop on ahead there, ready to go. Already riding past has been the tail end Charlie, so we're set to carry on again, and off we go. Now, as I said, this is used to be one of the main holiday highways for people heading to the Coromandel, but it was a new and better road was put on the other side to the right there behind the tree line, which meant that this road no longer gets any traffic at all, just by default, just locals. which led in turn to the demise of a couple of businesses along here. One of them was a very popular cafe called The Castle, and the castle's still there, and in fact it's for sale. It's a residential home, which wouldn't be such a bad place to be. I mean, it's got some character, that's for sure. You'll see it coming up on the left shortly. And before we get there, it's really quite astonishing to think that this used to be gridlock here. Most any time coming into and out of summer, this road was impossible to get along or get by. On a motorbike it'd be a different story, but in a car you were stuck. But there was great news for the two businesses on either side of the road here. The castle on the left, looking like a castle, strangely enough. They used to make a great ice cream. Anyway, it's about time to bring this video to a close. We'll probably continue with this next week. We've got the wetlands to come. In the meantime, take care out there, ride safe. See you next time.